man, you know what? It's not bad. It hasn't been that bad of a week. It's kind of busy, but you know, it's always nice to see Giants fall every now and then.
So, as we speak, we were getting ready to record, and I was like, oh, yeah, there's a Concacaf championship game tonight. And Miami needs to score a bunch of goals to like get caught up. That doesn't seem to be what happened. Miami did not score a bunch of goals.
Yeah, someone scored a bunch of goals, but it wasn't Miami.
Oh my God, is Brian Wright and Sebastian Berhalter those guys I talk about who end up on the World Cup roster that we never saw coming? Oh my God, could we not? Could we be surrounded by Berhalter still? The long shadow of Berhalter.
You know what? Berhalter should have told this kid to come play with him in Chicago Fire because we need a fucking better midfielder.
Honestly, you know how Vancouver never keeps their success. They always sell off. That could be a big medium-sized signing for us. You never know. But Brian White is also losing his effing mind. Player of the month. He scored tonight. I don't know. Like, I haven't seen him enough. We get on here and we talk about our opinions about soccer, but we don't watch everything. We're not professionals. But like with Brian White, what does he do well? Not that I don't think he's good. I just haven't seen him enough, and I don't understand him as a player.
I'm gonna say this. I think Hugo Kuipers is a better striker than Brian White.
I mean, I'd like to believe that myself.
Well, when you're the league leader in goals, that's saying something.
Oh man, you holding on to some positives because I'm feeling
this
guy is falling again.
Yep. That was
Just
we'll talk about it in another segment. But anyways,
for sure. But we do have to say the word Messi out loud, right? For the SEO.
Unfortunately, yeah. We gotta say Messi, and Messi couldn't do anything.
I mean, Messi, he came with hype, obviously, and he is not really disappointed. But like, they still haven't like gotten over the line on stuff, and that's kind of is that going to be their legacy? Because that was kind of a Pirlo Lampard thing over in New York, right? Like they were pretty good.
Messi this, Messi that. Vancouver just messed things up for them, right? So,
and no American representation in the final because we're going to get a Liga MX team playing now the Canadian representative. The Vancouver Whitecaps, which give it up for Vancouver, man. Oh, Canada and maple syrup and stuff.
Maple syrup.
Healthcare.
Healthcare. The fries with gravy and cheese, which I forget what they're called.
Poutine.
Poutine, there.
Baby. All right, I remember it, even though I don't eat that shit. Anyway, okay. So I'm looking at the things we want to talk about, and there's some fun ones, and then there's one shitty one. So let's go to more fun. Okay. Let me find this. Wilfred Zaha took to Instagram and posted, you'll be seeing this on the screen, typical, we lost a game and somehow it's Zaha's fault. I dribble, I'm selfish. I keep it simple, I'm not doing what I'm being paid to do. I shoot, I should have passed. I pass, I should finish my chances.
I like how you started that off as a third person, like it's Zaha's fault,
right? All the bet. Zlatan
who talked like yeah. I was gonna say that. Who talked like that? Remember?
Zlatan and Bob Dole. Those are the only two people that come to mind. Anyway,
let's be honest here. Zaha, you have like a microscope on you. All lights on you affecting Charlotte right now. So,
well, of course,
yeah, people are gonna blame you if things don't work out well.
Dude, they seem a little ungrateful because all I keep seeing is Zaha being amazing. But hold on, he continues. Adjusting to a year out not playing properly, only trained fully for maybe 3 weeks because of having a newborn and playing on AstroTurf for the first time in a whole career. Good dig, dude. That's a good dig.
He got a point. Yep, he got a point.
I usually wouldn't reply to this stupid shit, but I'm not a scapegoat for people to waffle about in and at clubs anymore. Zaha, this, Zaha, that, but Oh, Zaha this, Zaha that. But we had the best start ever and beat first in the league. So please stop chapping, especially my name. Thanks,
Chapping. What the hell's
management.
chapping?
Wait.
What is chapping?
Wait.
I was like, what is?
No.
Thanks, management.
Yeah, it said thanks, comma management.
What?
We have a James sighting.
And Zaha. Yeah, so Zaha, I was actually just looking at that.
So is he management? Because he went from
he management?
Like, so he went from talking about himself in a third person, and then he kind of went into talking about himself, and then he ended up with management. Like, is this man like 3 different people?
Well, I have a question for you. Yes, I love this. He's
talking about the other people talking about him, saying Zaha this, Zaha that. But we had the best. He's saying like other people are saying Zaha this, Zaha that.
But he ends up with management, though.
Yeah, he ends it with thanks, comma management. I think his management wrote this for him, but like dictated, not
he forgot.
Dictated, not written.
I don't know. It could mean multiple things. It could mean management, like thanks that we're the managers
like,
and this is our message.
Yeah.
Or
blame management. Yeah.
Or this is his managing the situation, management of the situation.
Well, do you want to hear the most cringe part of this? Charlotte is in 4th on 19 points, and Cincy has 22 in 1st. Are you kidding me, Charlotte? This is embarrassing. Unless is Zaha super thin-skinned, and he's just freaking out because one fat guy on the internet yelled at him or something.
So you're telling me Zaha's the kind of player that when you're playing against him, you make fun of him a little bit. He's a walking red card right then and there.
I don't think so. But I mean that's
valuable information for opponents.
I mean, you talk enough crap like, hey Zaha, I heard you suck on Astro Field. he loses it.
I read your tweet that you said you sucked.
And your management.
Well, that's another dig to MLS.
Although I like Zaha.
The AstroTurf. Yeah, Zaha is playing well. They're in 4th place. I don't know what people want.
Who still has AstroTurf?
Well, obviously Charlotte, but doesn't hella people? Because Seattle for sure. Atlanta. Anybody playing in an NFL stadium, I'm sure. New England, Atlanta, Seattle.
Not Bears. Not the Bears.
You're right, not the Bears, but
not the Bears. They're smarter than that. Even the NFL, even the NFL have said, we kind of want to get away from turf because, it poses an injury threat, and it's true.
It really does. And the guys hate playing on it. Every one of them that comes here complains about it. I don't know, man. I don't know enough of the situation because either one of two things is true. Zaha is either thin-skinned or this is incredibly embarrassing and cringe for Charlotte fans because you are in 4th. You are 3 points off the lead. What are you doing? Harassing your best player who has come to do incredible things. I remember his first game. He scores, and we were glazing.
Isn't he on loan too?
Pardon?
Isn't he on loan?
No, I think they signed him straight up.
I thought he was on loan because if he's on loan, he could at any given time he could say I don't want to play. Recall me for my loan type of situation. I thought he was on loan. I don't know why.
I mean, if he were, like you said, he could be recalled, but does he really want that? The idea was he was coming to. I mean, remember him sitting on the throne with the crown and the whole crowd going nuts?
Oh crap! He is on loan.
Oh.
Charlotte acquires forward Wilfried Zaha on loan from Galatasaray, and this was back in January of this year.
Yeah. He's leaving. He's leaving at the end of the year. It says upcoming transfer January 17th, 2026. He will leave Charlotte and head back to Galatasaray.
That
will be the end of the loan.
They might figure out a deal though.
Yeah, well, if you piss the guy off enough, he might not want to.
Well, this
stay.
could be the fans again.
And reading this, it sounds like he's been a little upset by the way the treatment of the fans. And for a 4th place team, and when he's the absolute reason why they are in 4th place, sorry to say, not even sorry to say,
it
deal
is.
with it. Boom. deal with it.
The place that makes fun of their best players, right?
Yeah, you don't deserve them if you guys are going to keep doing this.
All right,
but I mean, we did this to Shaqiri.
I mean, dude.
Yeah, well, it was deserved.
Yeah, I think so. Shaqiri didn't care. Now,
yeah, think about it, because Shaqiri didn't take this team on his back to 4th place.
No, not at all. Now, I want to move on because we're talking about big time signings, and there might be a big time signing in name. I'm not sure in talent, but Paul Pogba to DC United. What do we think that's like possible?
That's happening? No way.
I mean, they're talking about it. It's not a done deal, but they're in the lead apparently.
That indicates to me that he is broken.
I mean, he's been sniffing around MLS for a hot minute. He's been going to games.
Do you think this is going to be like an Insigne situation, like similar to Toronto, if Pogba does sign with DC United?
No, because nobody in Europe's going to give him a chance, which means he cannot command the kind of money to like wreck a team. He might even be a TAM player.
And you said he's going to DC?
That's what the talk is. You know what? I take that back. He's probably a DP. He could command a big salary.
A low end deep. Well, yeah.
So you just brought up Insigne. So look at the MLS table. Toronto is in second to last place. They're on 7 points.
God, is Insigne even playing there anymore? Didn't they get rid of him, or is he still riding the bench?
He's still there.
Oh, jeez, they can't get out from under that, can they?
So if that's another situation like that, yeah, it's kind of sounds like Schweinsteiger, circa Chicago Fire 2018. Because like we all think, hey, we're getting a great name, we're getting Paul Pogba, we're getting Schweinsteiger, we're getting you name it, at one time super quality player, but we're getting them not even in the twilight of their career, but like on the denouement, which is in the story, right? The story goes initial climax is the tip, and then the denouement is the lowering action towards the end of the story.
Well, Paul Pogba is 32 years old now. I mean, he's got fresh legs. He hasn't played in 4 years.
Does he?
Yeah, more than fresh.
Is the athlete still there?
Like, because his suspension was only 18 months or something like that. It was supposed to be 4 years, but before that, didn't he like miss 2 full seasons out of 3 with like season-ending injuries and stuff? Like, I really feel like this dude has barely played a game of football in years.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be correct on that. And you know what? I mean, is he still healthy? And when I mean healthy, is he still like in shape type of situation, or
did the doping work? Like, did the doping work? That's really the question. I mean, like, because first of all, he doped for a reason. Why is he doping? Why do guys dope? Typically because there's an injury that they're trying to heal faster than it's able to heal. That's typically why. And then this he's trying to get back to DC. And once again, remember my alarm bells ringing at the beginning where I said DC, like what? He's joining a loser club? What the fuck's that about? It makes no fucking sense. So that indicates another fire alarm. It's like this guy's agent. He's like, who could I scam with this paper tiger I got here named Paul Pogba, who at one time was close to a world-class player and a FIFA World Cup champion.
He's a World Cup champion.
He's a World Cup champion.
That's exactly what his agent's gonna say. Hey, how would you like to sign a World Cup champion? You got Messi, now you got Pogba.
Now, but at 32, is he trying to resurrect his career, or is he trying to find one last place to have glory?
I think it's one last place. He hasn't hit the Jake the Snake Roberts situation. No, the rest.
Was he involved with France's last team?
No, because he last played in 2020. Well, yeah, because he last played in 2022. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was on the team, but I don't think he was getting
and he's not
he was playing amazing. That was the problem. He was playing. Jose wasn't playing him at Manchester, and then he played amazing for France, and then they played him, and he played like garbage for Manchester. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I'm an idiot on the internet.
Sounds right.
So when he went back to England, he misses doping. Okay, I see what he did.
I mean, who knows? He had, like I said, look. He was signed for Juventus for 2 years and played 8 games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
so he was injury prone.
He got that way early on. Okay. Man, he looked like he was going to be an early legend.
Another alarm bell. DC United scout, if you're listening to me, DC GM, don't fucking sign this guy. Are you kidding
run
me?
away.
Like,
Somebody's got to.
Run the fuck away because
run away, man. Don't waste money.
This is TNT that you're going to waste money on. That's just going to blow up your team. And it's just Toronto and lead to you getting fired faster. You're like, oh, this is the only way I can save my job. Well, I'll tell you this. There's a better way you can save your job. Look in the Liga MX. Look somewhere else than freaking Paul Pogba. All right, there's other options. Man, there's an alternative. You don't have to go like there's that meme of Captain Jack, and he's going on the ship, and the ships are just about to sink, and he's just stepping off onto a new thing. And you think you're doing that with Paul Pogba? It's not. No, there is no pier. The pier is not there. You're in the middle of the ocean, and that is sharks in the water.
No, this is the problem with the salary cap. Somebody's got to sign him because he would be the perfect signing for like a good team missing one midfielder piece to see if he could make it work.
Look, man, someone's blaming the salary cap because of another team's failures. All right, better correct myself. A former champion's failures to replicate the previous year.
So
that's what's going on.
So we're going to bring this up now. Okay. LA Galaxy, we have to talk about two things. One is hilarious and one is just sucks. LA Galaxy hasn't won a game. We are 10 games.
Time out. Let me set up your lead. Who was the worst team in MLS this year? Let me set up that question with another question. Who was the best team in MLS last year?
Miami.
Yeah, it was not the champion.
So it wasn't LA, but it is LA now. And it's also not just LA, Montreal. Montreal is also on 3 points with 0 wins. They have, do they have an identical record to the LA Galaxy? An identical record to the LA Galaxy.
I did not know that.
And guess who has scored more goals? LA Galaxy or Montreal?
Montreal.
Incorrect.
Okay.
LA Galaxy has outscored them by double of what Montreal scored. Montreal has 4 total goals in 10 games. Meanwhile, LA Galaxy sitting on double, 8.
So you're telling me Hugo Kuipers almost has the
Yep.
Oh.
Well, so which means he also has more than Montreal.
Well, not only that, but like if he scores again,
holy shit!
If he scores again on Saturday, he's gonna have the double the amount. Oh wow, okay.
I know we're injecting the hopium right now, but I want to get back to LA real quick.
Oh my God, the amount of strikers in MLS that have more goals than the entire team of the Montreal Impact. By the way, no striker has more goals than LA Galaxy.
Hold on, Club de Foot Montreal.
Club de Foot de Montreal, though. Let me count how many. 1, 2, 3, 4. Guys, put your guesses. How many MLS players have more goals, which is 4, more than 4, and have outscored the Montreal Impact? So, all right, I'll count this.
I'm going to say 14.
I was going to say like 15, 10 or 15.
You going to Prices Right me here?
Yeah, I'm going to. If James is still counting, it's more than 15 at this point.
Nah, he's slow.
Guys, so 18 at 5 goals.
Oh! What?
18 at 5 goals at 5 goals. And by the way, one of them is a former Chicago Fire, Georgi Mihailovic. And on top of that, I've gone down 18 names for the 5. There's still like over 10 players with 4 goals that have matched the Montreal Impact, including Luis Muriel, Choupo-Moting, Kelsey, Yaboa, Ojeda, Alva Santos, Carlos Gil, Hani Mukhtar, Saloy, Buanga from LAFC. Wait, Christian Ramirez, LA Galaxy. He has 4 goals. He is half the LA Galaxy goals. Christian Ramirez is half the LA Galaxy's goals. Mora on 4 goals, and that's the last of the 4. Let me finish off real quick the good names. Palisic, Mihailovic, Diego Rossi, Latte Lath, who, interesting, Benteke, Navarro, Oluwaseyi of Minnesota, Joveljic, in Kansas City has 5 goals. Kansas City, their coach is fired. They still have more goals. Danke on 6. Oh my gosh, no freaking way, guys. You're here.
Brian Gutierrez. I don't think Brian Gutierrez got more goals than
Joseph Martinez.
Oh,
He's back. He's back. He's on 6 goals.
Talk about the resurrection
for Bruce Arena. 6 goals through 9 games for him. Sam Surridge on 6 goals. Arango. Brian White, by the way, player of the month for MLS.
We've already glazed Brian White.
Yeah. Martinez from New York City. Da Silva Ferreira from Cincinnati, all on 6, those names. And the two players on 7. Oh my gosh. They've been mentioned in our podcast all year long, both of them.
Ty Baribo
yes!
and Hugo Kuipers.
Because Ty Baribo was sitting on 6 goals for the longest time.
Yeah, after 2 games, he had 6 goals.
He finally notched his 7th, and he's tied with Hugo Kuipers of the Chicago Fire FC for the league.
Who, by the way, has multi-game scores, not just 2 games and 2 hat tricks and call it a day type of situation. Just want to make that clear.
All right, now hold on. You mentioned a team. You mentioned somebody from Minnesota. Damn, Minnesota's in 4th. Dude, did you guys see that they signed Julian Gressel from Miami?
Tani Aluwasai.
You know what? I feel bad for that guy.
Gressel.
That guy went from DC to Vancouver, from Vancouver to Miami, from Miami to, now to Minnesota. Like within.
He won a championship though.
He
did.
The man cannot stay in the team longer than a year, basically.
Nah, he's like, it's like with an MLS team. He's that, like, if you got a little extra money for a spot, you get him. You know what I mean?
You bring in Julian.
I'm surprised we didn't go after that guy.
Yeah,
but we have Barroso, who's really, kind of locked down the right back spot. But
in theory, we were good on the wing.
Healthy.
But maybe instead of Zink, you go get him. But that goal from Zink from this weekend, I love that ticked off goal from this weekend from Zink.
Zink is kind of the wild card in a good way, and I've been happy with him.
You know who Zink reminds me of? He reminds me of what's his face? The guy that we sold to that French team.
Souquet?
Shevasov?
Oh, no, Frankowski. Yeah. Frankowski.
Frankowski had pace to him. He had some speed.
Yeah, but Frankowski had a habit of, like, being inconsistent.
Oh, yeah.
And that's exact. Yeah. Some games he'll, like, stay quiet. In other games he'll be, like, explosive.
Yeah, but what is Zink's quality? What is his thing? Because I don't think it's speed. He has a good soccer brain.
He's an all-around player. He's good with the ball at his feet.
Yes.
He can pass the ball. He can shoot. Yeah, he's all-around player.
He's a semi-good crosser.
Yeah, well, he's not.
I wouldn't call him a burner though. He's not a burner, but he's definitely all those things you guys said.
He's like a semi-good crosser.
I mean, he's got enough speed to not be slow, right? He's just not fast. All right, so before we take a break here and move on to European stuff, I want to mention one more thing because we always bring it up on this podcast because I think we all care about it. I care about it. I do. We apparently the LA Galaxy had to put out a statement. There was the chant happened in LA, which
it was what we suspected.
That's what I heard. I just seen it through the grapevine. I didn't.
Who were they playing against?
Well, that's
Portland.
Typically how we hear these things is we're not.
I'm just curious, who were they playing against? Like, and were they losing?
I think I'm pretty sure they lost. Portland is in second. What is happening in the world?
4-2 to Portland.
But
what has happened to MLS? I'll tell you, guys. Go watch an upcoming episode. I put a little special episode out. It's not out yet about Bruce Arena and parody.
You heard
MLS
it here,
parody.
Folks. It's going to be its own episode.
It is.
I mentioned it earlier. Video. I said I haven't seen it yet, so I wasn't sure if it was going in the show. Anyway, so look out for that special episode. But no, back to something a little bit serious. We've said it time and time and time again. What the fuck? Like, what in the honest, like, why? I don't get it. It sucks. It's annoying. It only brings bullshit, and then it brings the dumbest people and it's just, Like, if that's what is that what everybody wants? Am I the crazy one?
No, but no. I'm starting to wonder about this. There's a different situation in the world, which I'm not going to name and talk about, but it almost seems like it's just not going to happen there. This thing that needs to happen is just not going to happen. And it seems like with the chant, is it ever going to go away, or is it going to take years of this to kind of die out? And even after years, does that even those years somehow reinforce this weird, I don't want to call it a tradition, but like for them, for those fans who are utilizing it, that are wielding it, that are whipping this out and truly weaponizing it in a way. Think about the weaponization of like you're in a stadium, right? And like, yeah, okay, so like the organist wants you to sing a song and get some stuff going, but like, I don't know, this veers off into such a negativity world where like it's where all of us who are common sense about it, we're like, we're better than this. We're this is not necessary. Like, we're trying to have fun here. I don't see how this is fun. It's there's a point where mean can be fun, but there's a point where mean can be fun for kind of everybody. But that's a really, really, really very hard find point to meet. And this chant does not meet it at all.
No, I mean, honestly speaking, to your point, like, will it ever go away? No, as long as human beings don't have a hive mind, there's always going to be people who are like, oh, I'm going to do the thing to be an asshole. That is the whole actual
Sometimes
point.
That's fun. So,
well,
I was just talking about that. There's an edge where
when you're
being an asshole is fun. But like, when you're doing that.
Exactly. And it's so, you know what's, the only way it goes away is when it becomes so lame. Like, just lame. Like, if I Show Speed was just clowning on people who did that every day on his stream for a year, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, would just always take digs, it would stop. You know, I know that sounds dumb, but as long as being an asshole is cool, people are going to be assholes.
Okay, being an asshole is cool, and being an asshole is great, but being despicable is different. And yeah, so I don't know. And like that's the thing. It's just like, come on. There's kids in the stadium. Aren't we trying to set a, you know, as an adult?
No,
aren't you trying to set like a
fuck kids? I hate that.
I mean,
point.
I'm still gonna have a few. I'm gonna have some drinks in the stadium. I'm gonna make an ass of myself. I'm gonna shout. I'm gonna holler. I'm gonna annoy some people. But gosh darn it, and I'm gonna swear, unfortunately. But at the same time, I'm not trying to, you know, destroy some little kids like idea of the game. And like you remember being a little kid going to the sports games with your family, and I don't ever remember a negative like saw some guy swear and it was like a negative. Like if you heard a swear and you're a little kid, you're like, oh, and you're like, it's the greatest. It's like you heard it in the wild. But this is not a swear. This is like something else.
99% of the time when someone swears at the stadium or swells, like it's like, well, swears at the field or whatever, it's kind of funny sometimes because it's mostly funny, you know,
because it's letting off a steam in a certain way. But this is
there's a difference between your 10-year-old hearing a guy stand up and be like, "Hey ref, get off your knees, you're blowing the game," and then fucking something that's hateful. Like, that's two completely separate things. And, like, one is, like, whatever, they're 10, who cares? And the other one is, like, fucking stop it. You guys suck. And I guess, I don't know, man. I guess we've talked this to death. So,
I got some more. I got a little tiny bit more to say. And my point will be, I guess my point is this. I'm a free speech absolutist. Like, they can say what they want to say at the end of the day, right? But at the same time, I don't got to hear it. I don't got to hear it, and I don't have to deal with it. And if I don't want to deal with it, that's a big problem. That type of mentality, that is going to be a big problem for LA Galaxy, and they're going to have to solve it because there are fans out there who are going to be like, man, I don't want to deal with this. You know what?
When is MLS going to throw the hammer? When is MLS going to say, you know what, it's enough. You're going to play the next 2 games in an empty stadium.
Has there ever been a closed-door game in MLS? I do not believe so.
I don't
think so either.
It's happened around the world. It's happened in Italy. It's happened in Mexico. It's happened elsewhere.
It has. It needs to happen.
That's the COVID times. COVID times, guys.
Well,
but
that's a completely different issue.
But that's a completely
That's not
different,
a closed door game in the.
That's not a punishment,
yeah.
which is against the Geneva Convention, the group punishment. But still, it works in soccer.
All right.
Anyway, all right. So speaking of the Geneva Convention, we're going to be going over to Europe in the next segment. So everybody, stay tuned, like, and all that good stuff.